Hey, fishing junkies, Jeremy May here. Just wanted to go over a few wintertime techniques for crankbaits. It is an overlooked bait. A lot of people don't throw it in the wintertime. Actually, a lot of people don't even fish in the wintertime. So, for those guys who are eager to learn and go through the trials and tribulations, or actually eliminate the trials and tribulations to go straight to some of the things I've learned over the decades of fishing in the wintertime, here you go. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to go through 4 or 5 different baits that I use strictly in the winter months leading up to the pre-spawn. And it will help you going forward, I promise you. So if you guys want to catch your biggest bass of the year, you need to be fishing in the wintertime. The bigger fish live a lot shallower than most people think. Especially on tidal rivers, shallow impoundments, things like that. So here's what I'm going to start with a couple facts. Number one fact is with crawfish, okay? A lot of the bigger bass actually start feeding on crawfish that are actually transitioning or close to the winter haunts and large gizzard shad. So here's what I do is I start going to a silent bait. I'll show you, hands down. I'll show you right now. Everything that I have laid right here, see that? Every one of those, the common denominator is crawfish related. Because what happens is the crawfish, they're moving from the shallows to the depths they're actually normally behind the bass. And I go to everything silent. Everything is balsa. I got my bright colors for my water clarity. I've got a little bit more pigment. Okay, so everything starts transitioning from a molting crawl, which is like your darker black and blues. They start shedding that crawl out, right? The water temperature start dropping. So they actually start turning more of a hue of red, almost similar to this one right here. That one right there. And then they tuck down in the rocks and their mud holes and stuff for the winter. But they have to eat. They don't hibernate like bears. So they do come out occasionally to forage as often as they can. So, the OG Slims, that's the money. You have this one right here, which is more of a darker, right there with the orange belly. This one right here is probably more of a transition color. Early, post-spawn, winter bait. So this is kind of early right now. It is in November. So right now in November, I kind of stick to my browns, or the green pumpkins. Sometimes if the water clarity is 3 to 4 foot of visibility, I go to the translucent baits. That's more of a reality transition color right there going into the wintertime. But dead winter, hands down is going to be probably this color right here. That seems more realistic to me. With visibility probably 2 to 3 feet. Visibility 1 to 2 feet, I'd probably switch over to that one right there. Maybe get away with this one here, where you have a lot more black on the top, a little green. You have a little bit of reds, oranges, yellows. But hands down, guys, that is the color you need to go to for on the crawfish pattern side of things going into the winter time. However, there is a double-edged sword to this one. You also have the brown chartreuse. This one right here, based off the water clarity, 1 to 2 foot of visibility tops. I will go to my browns, my chartreuses, later in the wintertime, leading up to pre-spawn. I have caught them on the OG Slims, chartreuse, brown back or green pumpkin back yellow belly, leading into the winter, you know. So that's what I do based on my crawl baits. Now, leading for the shad profiles, I have 2 colors. Very simple, very easy. I throw 2 colors. I throw this one right here. It again is a Bagley. It's got like a purple hue to it. If you guys know anything about shad, what happens in the wintertime is that they start getting away from the shine. The shad do not have that heavy shine anymore. They start losing that, and they actually start turning a little hint of purple. Purple blackish or whatever. So Bagley honestly has nailed that down, that color down. That is a perfect, almost wintertime crankbait. And here's another one right here. It's a shad profile. That one's beat all the shit. That's one of my favorites. You know, the OG Slims, of course, have the blue tint. It's the number 60s, I believe. And Old Faithful, for those deeper bass, you know, 8 to 10 feet of range. So, yeah, guys, that's what I do, man. You know, normally in the wintertime, I focus on the crawfish bite. And I try to get the reactions right. I think the colors and the crawl patterns, when the water temperature starts dropping down, because the fish actually get lethargic, right? They're not going to be going very far for the bait. So if you can make the optimal cast, you can put that fish in, or you put that bait actually in an area where crawfish live and the big fish actually known to live at. You can probably catch a big one. I mean, I've done it here on the James a couple years ago. You know, I had caught a 10 and I caught 11. I mean, literally back to back in the same general area. So I do know for a fact that the big ones do eat crawfish. It's just, I guess, location. So, all right, guys. And I appreciate everybody tuning in. If you guys are not familiar with your treble hooks, you might want to go ahead and head over to Vector Hooks and check out the Tornado trebles. If you guys are not familiar with Tornado trebles are similar to this one right here. If you guys can't see that thing right there? It's got a little twist to it. It does help keep the fish pinned big time. So when that fish is starting to, you know, twist around and flop around, that bait is actually driving in further into their gillet. It does make a big difference for me. I've lost very limited fish on the Tornado trebles, and I'll stick to them till the day I die. So, all right, guys, I appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll see y'all on the flip side. Peace out.